I've been waiting 5 years to tell you about yourself and how dirty you are. You just dirty. This is how you do me dirty.
Welcome back to another episode of Blurred Up Reviews, where we review the latest and greatest in movie, TV, and gaming. We are your hosts. I'm Killer Cam.
And I'm Monique.
And as you can see, we together.
Yeah, you and me will never part.
Oh gosh, Mo is down here for a visit, and I'm glad to have myself here so we can review all of these movies and trailers that we do in person.
Yay!
Today we have the review for Netflix, Malcolm and Marie. Now this was for me it was highly anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Me too, as well. It's got it's got Zendaya in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, she's vastly becoming one of my spirit animals, so anything that she's in, pretty much I love automatically. I end up loving automatically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And between her and John David Washington, I mean, he's been pretty solid so far. I know he's still, I feel like he's still kind of new, still kind of breaking out. So, I mean, I've liked him in the stuff I have seen. I haven't seen Tenet yet, and I'm scared to see it, but
yeah,
I'm going to end up watching it. But this one stood out to me because it happened like right around quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of like awesome to see actors and creators out there creating stuff that did not compromise the safety.
Yep. I heard they had to actually get a whole bunch of approvals from SAG and other acting agencies, things like that, to ensure that everybody was safe on set and that they were able to do the movie. So happy that they were able to get together and do this movie, so they can gift it to us to watch.
And a gift it was. So before we jump into this review, thank you to everyone who's been liking and subscribing to our channel. Of course, it helps us grow. It also helps us understand type of content you like to see. So thank you for all of your support. And if you are new, just stumbling across us, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button there for you too, and stay up to date with all our reviews and reactions. I like doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was like, when did it become a game show? You too.
All right. This is gonna be no spoilers. It's kind of hard to spoil this movie. But I'm gonna try my best to keep key information to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very bad at doing that, as we all know. So if I do want to tell something, I will holler out spoiler. You just cover your ears. All right, so Malcolm and Marie, just kind of a brief synopsis, which is going to be very brief because basically we get to witness a conversation between boyfriend and girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Boyfriend is a newly famous director, I guess I would say. Girlfriend is an actress.
Yeah.
And basically his movie premieres that night and they're reeling from the after effects of that premiere, I guess.
Yeah.
What ensues? I feel like I have seen more times than I would like to admit.
Yes. Going through this movie, I had a lot of feelings where I felt like there were some scenes where I felt like, this is so familiar. Like, where have I seen this before? And like, it took me halfway through the movie to be like, I'm a Scorpio. I do this all the time. Like, I seriously have like arguments with my husband that are just like this. Not to some extent in some of the arguments, but still it's just like this. And I'm just like, yo, this is my life. This is this is like, how they get this material on me,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of feelings and emotions as I was watching this movie.
Yeah, it was a very intimate movie. One thing I do want to point out, it was written by Sam Levinson, who is responsible for Euphoria, which I have not watched fully yet.
Gosh, she's missing out, you guys. Please.
I am gonna watch it, but I hear that Zendaya actually requested this movie because we're used to seeing her as a Disney person. She's normally playing children, but she's 24 years old and she wanted something that was going to push her as an actress, and I feel that this was a success.
Yeah.
Because Girlfriend was on it.
I'll tell you there it's the how the movie starts out. There are a little bit of scenes that I was just like, hold up, wait a minute, like I'm kind of uncomfortable because Zendaya has played a lot of Disney, and even in Euphoria she's still a kid. I
Mhm.
mean, she goes through a lot of things. We see a lot of things on Euphoria that's not kid friendly, but she still plays a kid on the show, pretty much a teenager. So there were some things that happened at the beginning of this movie that made me kind of uncomfortable. I even stopped and I was like, "How old is Zendaya? And how old is John David Washington?" And when John David Washington popped up, like his birthday is that he had born in 1984, I was like, "Oh, that's more than 10 years." But as the movie went on, I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, at the beginning of the movie, their chemistry, and I don't know if it was because of I wasn't used to seeing Zendaya in a movie like this, but as the movie went on, I kind of got a little bit more comfortable with it, and it completely disappeared by the end of the movie. My uncomfortableness.
So I was on the opposite side of that.
Oh, really?
For some reason, I can flip the switch.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, she's 24, flip the switch. She's grown,
Mhm.
basically. So that wasn't a problem with me. I did feel like their chemistry was off at the beginning of the movie, but I felt it was on purpose.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I felt it was very on purpose, mainly because we've all been in situations where we go out to something, a birthday party, or I don't know, boss's dinner or something, and sometimes shit happens,
Mhm. Mhm.
and when you come home, like, I'm not feeling you right now. And it also depends on how many times this has happened in my level of give a fuckness, basically.
Yeah.
So when she came in, I was like, oh, this is about to be lit.
Right. Right.
Not to mention the because it's shot in black and white. I felt that added some rawness to it, because I'll watch black and white movies and drink wine and just like but this just made it so much more rawer than I was used to.
Basically, it's not the typical. This is not the typical movie that you would see today. It's not a superhero movie. It's not an action movie. It's two people in one setting getting their feelings out, talking about things that have upset them, things that they love about one each other, love hate type of relationship, type of conversations. So I don't know who would go into this movie thinking that they're gonna get more than that, but you're not. You're gonna get one of those movies that's gonna make you sit down and think about what the two are talking about and how they're expressing these feelings and emotions to each other, which I completely absolutely loved. Just continuing on to what you were talking about, there have been plenty of times where I don't know, y'all Scorpios, we hold it in until you do that one little thing. That one little thing that'll set us off. And I felt like that's what happened at the beginning of this movie. There was the things that kind of piled up, and there was another thing that just piled on top of that, and it was just like, you know what? You know what? I've been waiting 5 years to tell you about yourself and how dirty you are. You just dirty. This is how you do me dirty. So like when it popped off like that, I was like, that's why I was like, when has this happened before? And yeah, it's totally me. So definitely, absolutely, very, very relatable to me, the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what again, and this is the other thing I really like about this movie, because here's the thing. Typically they kind of built this movie as kind of like a Valentine's romantic movie. And technically I want to say it is, because this is the thing that I appreciate about this movie. It doesn't give this fantasy of what a relationship is.
Right.
It doesn't, oh baby, you hungry? No.
It's not puppy love type of stuff.
Exactly. These are real relationship issues that you're dealing with. And we know that this movie is basically one long series of conversations. And again, I've had those type of evenings where it's just so like surreal where it's like I can't believe that this is happening to me right now, but I'm not gonna let you in. You know?
Yeah.
And I actually identified, it was funny, I identified with both the characters in different arguments. I saw myself on his side, like, girl, you gotta get your stuff together, you gotta work hard, you know. But I also identified with her saying, you know what? The least you could do,
right.
This is the least that you can do.
Yeah.
And there was one scene, well acted, the monologues. There was a part where John David Washington was out of breath.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt that.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
But there's also a part where Zendaya's getting into her bag, and he's kind of out. What did you think about the characters? Let's start there, because there's a part here that I really want to dissect.
Well, I was going to add on to what you were saying, basically, because there is a part in here when Zendaya does give a monologue, and you think at this point it's going to get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It eventually doesn't really turn out that way, but the monologue that she gives, I was like, oh, she giving me the for real. Like, I felt like that was the most, like, the bestly... is bestly a word?
It is today.
I'm sorry, guys, but it was like the best acting I had seen in a really long time, basically. That one scene, because I really felt it. I felt like something was about to, like, I didn't see this turn coming, but like, I'm glad that it is. But no, I mean, I agree with you. There was parts of this movie where I felt both sides of the argument. Sometimes I was on Zendaya's side, Marie's. Sometimes I was on Malcolm's side. But I don't know, like.
So the one thing that I did pick up in this movie, and this was just in the way it was shot, there were so many shots of reflections and mirrors and windows.
Oh, and there was a shot at the very beginning of the movie where they were just going around in circles, and then they come back around, and that was just so. I was like, "Are we gonna go in circles on this movie?"
And it was almost metaphorically. It was done that way on purpose, because I feel like this whole movie is about the way we see ourselves versus the way our loved one sees us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why both characters were so relatable. Now, I did have it, I won't say it was an issue. I think that by the words that were spoken and the actions that were taken, I got a whole backstory on these characters. Marie, a little bit damaged, daddy issues.
I wouldn't say a little bit, but you know.
But she's been through a lot, and then I see the older man, narcissistic, controlling, pushing buttons that he knows is going to get a response out of her.
Oh, man.
But not understanding that, yes, she's 24 years old, but she's a grown-ass woman. There was literally a scene where he was pushing the buttons, and he was like, you look stupid right now. And I'm like, brother, you don't know what you're doing right now, because basically she's waiting for a gut punch.
Right.
Like, this stuff you're saying to her, like, I've been in situations where somebody's trying to read you down to the baseboards, and I'm like, you think that's the worst thing someone has said to me? Imagine what I'm not saying to you right now. You know, and that I saw it in her head, and I was like, oh, that's a mean. Is she a Capricorn? Like, that's what I was like. It was like, is she a Capricorn? But she played that. I don't want to call it a game, but that's literally what it was. Because every time he thought he one-upped her, every time he said something that he thought was going to hurt her, or said what he thought she wanted to hear, she came back with an uppercut.
Yeah.
And it was some meaningful shit. It wasn't just some stuff she was saying to hurt his feelings. It was the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got you. So any cons?
Cons to this movie, after the fourth argument, I started getting a little bit I was like emotionally drained. I thought I was dating Malcolm X at that point.
Yeah, I agree. There was a point where I felt like the arguments, I was like, well, we go again with another argument. Like, I felt like we just kept getting argument after argument after argument. And I think we could have done without at least one. And maybe just cut this to like a little bit over an hour, or I don't know.
I thought the arguments were valid.
I mean, they were valid, but I don't know. It was just, I needed a break between like the last argument or something like that, because it got to the very last argument, and I was like, I feel y'all. I feel every like thing that y'all are saying, I'm tired though. Like, y'all got me thinking about so much and got me in my emotions and my feelings. Like, I can't take another argument.
But I also think that's kind of genius because, again, if you've ever been in that situation, that's how it is.
It is.
It's almost like, and another thing, let me tell you about, to finally, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, the sun's coming up, you're emotionally tired, but you're not sleepy, you're anxious, and you're really honestly thinking about, like, what am I doing? Like, what's my next steps here?
Yeah.
So I almost feel like that was done on purpose, but I also think that last argument was the best.
Yes, it was.
You know, and I think that was the final seal to it, because at this point, and we're not going to tell you, but at this point, I don't know if they're staying together or they're leaving.
I don't know either. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, whew,
boy, yeah. Like, it really, literally, like, there's a point, this is in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but there's literally a point in the trailer where you see John David Washington outside on the grass, like, punching air and stuff. I literally felt like doing that myself while watching this movie, like, but all in all, still a good movie.
Now, a few pluses I did, like, again, the way it was shot, and how, did you notice how, like, literally Zendaya, like, from argument to argument, she was stripping herself. So there was a level of vulnerability that she was letting out, but she wasn't scared to do it. Notice he didn't really do that until later in the movie.
Yeah.
That was one thing I really enjoyed. It then the soundtrack to this movie.
Yeah, it's very good.
You know how when, okay, in my younger days, when I was feeling really petty and I wanted to make a point, but I wasn't ready to talk to you right
like
now.
He ain't petty today. Like, in my younger days, when I was petty, I'm not petty no more. Every single day.
I'm not.
You still
But
petty.
I would put on a song that kind of expressed how, there's this one song by Bilal called Sometimes. Have you heard that?
I don't know. I don't think
it's
so.
Like, sometimes you make me go upside your head and stuff
nope,
like that.
I heard that one.
And I would get mad and I would play that. You knew it was finna be one. If you heard that song playing. And I felt like that's what they did with this soundtrack, because there's a little petty moment where they're out and she's smoking a cigarette and she turns on her phone and like, Dionne Warwick song, you need to...
Like, not for nothing, you guys. I think the movie, if you might be unfamiliar with these songs, it might be a little bit better for y'all to watch with the captions on, because when these songs do play, you get the artist and you get the name of the song, and you just know right off the bat, like, oh, there's some shit about to start. Like, let me hold on.
Here we go. But yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed this movie. I wish I did not have. I wish. Well, I don't know. I wish I would have watched it at nighttime with a libation.
Some mac and cheese. I'm sorry. There's a point in this movie where some mac and cheese is being eaten in the most angriest, most asshole-ish way I have ever seen a person eat mac and cheese. And but on the same level, I related to that, because I have these moments with my husband where we have an argument, but I just cook dinner and he's sitting there eating the dinner that I cooked for him. And I'm just like, like, you got the nerve to sit up here and argue with me, telling me how much I'm wrong, but you gonna eat the food I just cooked for you. But yeah, I'm sorry. Anyways, it's bringing me back.
And that's a telltale sign of when somebody's getting on your nerves, the way they eat or the way that they're breathing. It just bothers the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Like, why are you breathing like that?
Like, why? No, it's not why are you breathing like that. Why you gotta breathe so loud? Why are you breathing that loud? Like, oh my gosh.
I say all that to say, though, I thought this was a wonderful movie.
Me too.
I thought this was an excellent movie, actually. And I know there's mixed reviews out there, but I'm just going to say it. If you've never been in that situation, you're not about that life. You're not going to get it. You're not going to understand why these arguments are such a big deal, not understanding that the whole future of life as you know it with this person could come to an end just like that.
Right.
One wrong word.
Right. Yep.
You know? So I felt it. You know what? I'm going to give my little blurtometer. You want me to go first? You want to go
Yeah,
first?
you can go first.
I'm giving it an 8.5.
8.5.
I'm giving it an
Wow.
8.5. I will absolutely watch this again because sometimes when I'm mad at the world, I watch movies like this, and this will be in the lineup. I'm gonna watch it again.
Wow. I don't know. I'm kind of. I agree. It was a very good movie. I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm on the fence about watching it again though because it had me in my feelings. It had me like I seriously where there were times where like my husband do this shit. Like ugh, I hate when he do this. So I don't want to go back there. I might have to force myself to go back there because it is still a really good movie.
Yeah.
Still a lot of things that to digest that I could have missed because I was thinking about my own stuff. But yeah, 8. I'm gonna go with the 8.
I'll split the difference. I'll give it an 8.
8.
We're going with an 8. 8 on the blurtometer. Curious as to what you guys think if you had the opportunity to check it out. If not, I highly suggest you do. Until next time, we are your hosts. I'm Killer Cam.
And I'm Monique.
We'll see you on the next episode of Blurred Up Reviews.
Thanks, guys.